Clyde, Gracie, Lawrence, I'm so excited to have you here at the X. Thank you guys for coming in.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Of course. And I saw you guys way back in 2019 when you were opening for John Bellion.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah. That was on in Denver, you saw us?
Yes,
that was
Denver.
On my birthday.
Oh, well, happy 2
Thank
years late birthday. But
yeah,
I saw you guys, and I actually remember I was like, oh my gosh, this band is awesome. And I took out my phone and I got Shazam. And I was like, I need to remember who these people are. And then the Shazam did not work because it was a live concert.
Right.
Thankfully.
That would be cool. That should exist
Clyde's writing down this idea.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually though, but it was an awesome show. So it is so exciting for me to have you guys here now and that you're going to be at the Aggie. That's awesome. And you have so much going on. You're on the Coachella lineup. You have Don't Lose Sight on the Microsoft campaign. I can't wait to get into all that. But before we do, let's take it back even before 2019. How did Lawrence get here?
So Gracie and I are siblings. So we kind of met, around the house. We'd be running into each other frequently. And we were both really into music from a young age, kind of in different ways. I was more into songwriting. Gracie was more into performing, but we would do stuff together. And then as we got older, we kind of got interested in each other's skill sets. So Gracie started writing music. I started kind of almost inspired by her, like trying my hand at performing and singing. And we kind of met the other band members along the way. A couple of them were childhood friends, and then the rest of them were friends of mine at college. Almost all of us in the band went to Brown University in Providence, Rhode Island together. And then we graduated and just started releasing and recording, soul pop music and touring the country in a super do it ourselves and the world. So what's really cool is that it is just literally, it's an 8-piece band, but it's just all family and friends. It's me and Gracie and our 6 best friends. It's been the same group of people the whole time.
Yeah.
That is so cool. Well, now let's talk Don't Lose Sight. How crazy is it to see your song on a huge campaign, a Microsoft campaign? What's that like?
It's been pretty crazy. The campaign launched 3 days ago or something, and immediately as soon as the commercial came out, it was playing, during football games, so it was super highly
the most exciting football game ever.
I know nothing, but apparently it was the most exciting football game. And then also during The Bachelor, so I got all the texts from the people watching The Bachelor, and Clyde got all the texts from people watching football. But it was.
Some of them we didn't know which was which.
Some of them were like, you're watching The Bachelor. But it was super exciting. I mean, it's really, really cool to, we write these songs in our living room, and we've been writing songs together since we were little kids. So it's super cool to just see it being
such
viewed and getting such a huge audience, and hearing from so many people that they, thought their phone was playing the song, and then they looked up and then it was actually on TV. So
and it's cool,
really cool
because it's definitely bringing new fans to it. We were just talking about this. It seems like tons of people are Shazamming it, which is really awesome. But I think another purpose of it that doesn't really get talked about as much is just how exciting and validating it is for our existing fans.
Yeah.
People that have been championing us for years, that have been telling all their friends about us. They feel like they own a piece of what we are, and they do. They deserve to be able to celebrate alongside us. They're hey, this thing that I've been following forever and telling my friends about is now hitting off in a more big scale way.
Yeah, that is so cool. And now you said writing songs in our living room.
Yeah.
Is that how your songs start? Walk me through that process. How does the song become Don't Lose Sight?
Yeah, so
that one was actually a little different than most.
I know,
of them.
it's kind of funny. That was an interesting one. Yes, most of our songs start from what we call a little nugget of an idea that one of us has, and we usually bring it to the other person and build it out in our living room. We have a piano in our living room, and that's usually where you can find us most hours of the day. And we kind of build it out from there and create the story around whatever this small idea was, which could be a lyric or a hook or a melody or whatever. And for Don't Lose Sight, actually, it was sort of a different circumstance where we were doing sort of that exact process, but we were in a session with another producer whose name is Jorgen Odegaard, and then we were able to bring it to John Bellion, who we worked on all of Hotel TV, our most recent album, with. So that one was really cool because we could feel the excitement in the room while it was happening.
And Jorgen, it was actually kind of funny because usually it is just Gracie and I bouncing off each other. And like, I think we're both so used to each other's tricks almost, where it's like if we're writing something and Gracie sings some really cool thing, like I'm not going to be like, oh my God, that was amazing.
Yeah.
even if like it was a really cool thing, because we just so something about having Jorgen, who is like such a high energy, great guy, but even just having any other person in the room to be like so cheerleading, like when we do our things that feel very normal to us, but they're like, that's such an exciting, it like kind of jacked us up to be like, let's make this song awesome.
Yeah. And a fun little like behind the scenes of what the song was about was we did that session in LA, and we're diehard New Yorkers. We grew up in New York, and we were on this trip to LA, and I do some acting stuff also, and I was waiting to hear back about a particular audition, which for anyone who's listening and who's an actor knows that life, knows that process, and 99% of the time it's a no. And I know that, but for some reason it just like hit a little differently, maybe because I was in LA and I had just found out on that exact day that I got a no from an audition that I was really excited about. And I'm so used to that, but it just felt really bad that day. And so we went to this session, and I was just like, guys, like, we got to write about this. And it was funny because I was envisioning kind of going for like a sad song about like giving up and, leaving the industry. But at the same time, Clyde and Jorgen were like creating this fun high energy track, and I was like, okay, let's spin it. Like, it's almost like you have the same idea or impetus for a song, but because it's a collaborative process and you're playing off of each other, when someone else is going in a certain direction with it, it's like you adjust your plan to fit what they're working on. So the song became actually sort of a song about not giving up even when you want to.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool how that can change. You have this idea in your head and it ends up totally different, but just as awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now we know you work with Jon Bellion. You've worked with him for a long time. Our listeners are big fans of him.
That's awesome.
What is that like for you to work with someone on that scale?
It's really awesome. I mean, I think that we always try to have a balance of like confidence and stubbornness towards our own ideas, because what Lawrence is like came from us, and like but then we also at the same time always try to have a really collaborative spirit, especially when it comes to someone who we really, really admire their music. So we've been fans of Jon for so long, and even though his music's pretty different than ours, like we always thought that he would be a really cool person to collaborate with. So
almost because of that.
Yeah, totally. Some of the things he's able to do are things that we're like, wow, we don't know how to do that, and we'd love to be able to apply that to our music. But then, like, when we actually met him and got to know him, it took on a whole other level of just, like, we became such great friends. He's such a wonderful, fun, funny person that we totally hit it off with. We are also, as Gracie said, diehard New Yorkers. He's a diehard New Yorker. And so we kind of, like, bond over that and have this sort of, like, us against the world mentality about, like, trying to make great pop music in New York.
Also, we're a family band, and so when someone's invited into the process, it's really like the question of whether they can be a part of the family. And we never had any doubts about that with Jon, but the second that we really got into the nitty-gritty of it and were in a room with him for hours and hours, it became like 1,000% more clear that he was so a part of our family.
And that he also just has the same mentality about his own operation. Like his bandmates are people, for the most part, that have been his best friends for years, which is not that common. Like he still lives where he grew up, like those kinds of things that feel like very important to us.
Yeah, that is so cool. And now you're going to be at Coachella.
Yeah.
That's crazy. What is that like for you guys? Are you excited?
As I put on a flower crown.
Right.
Yes, I'm super excited. We've played so many festivals and we haven't played Coachella, and we've been super excited about it and known about it since 2019.
Right. But this is a long postponed Coachella announcement.
So we were just like on the edge of our seat for 2 years, really nervously awaiting when that would be announced, and it's super exciting. I mean, I've never been to Coachella, but I've only heard like the most remarkable things, and as a fan of so many of the people who are going to be there, I'm just like so stoked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Do you have any pre-show rituals that you do before you perform, or do you just get ready and go out?
Cry. No. I don't know.
It's kind of random and sporadic, and there's so many of us in the band. Like, it's funny because it's like everyone's on a different page. We've got a couple guys that do a whole deep breathing thing.
Yeah, Clyde and I are not on the deep breathing train.
Yeah.
Short breath.
Right. Especially here.
Yeah, seriously.
Especially in Colorado. Yeah, I don't know. Not anything crazy. We give a little hands in. The whole band puts the hands in, and we do a little speech. We dedicate the show to someone, a little pump up moment, but nothing too crazy.
Nothing too crazy. Gotcha. Well, I have to admit, prepping for this interview, I stalked your website. I saw you're a Settlers of Catan fan.
I am. Are you?
I got to admit, my friends play it, and I don't get it. So we have Settlers of Catan night.
I'm like addicted in a
I watch.
Clyde lives in Catan.
Yeah. I am a settler myself. Yeah.
Oh my god. See, and then you had a Real Housewives quote.
Yes.
I love that. That's amazing.
Real Housewives of New York represent. You know, if this music thing doesn't work out, I'm applying. So
oh my god, that's
like
amazing.
10 years.
Well, now I know you're in New York. Born and bred New Yorkers, like you said, but you've been in Colorado here a few times.
Yeah.
What do you think? Have you gotten to experience that Colorado life?
I mean, Colorado's really cool because it's such a amazing live music place. Like, how many different places in America could you play shows 4 nights in a row in cities that are all kind of within like an hour or so of each other? Like, that shows the demand and the passion for live music here. Like, most states, you'd pick one place and assume that everyone in the area would come there, but it's like super cool how there's just such a well-developed live music thing here. That's the thing that because most of the time when we're coming here, it's to play shows, I've just really seen that passion firsthand and just like the number of venues and bands that make it a key part of their operations. So I think I really admire that.
Also, a bunch of the guys in our band, I think, are staying after our shows. They made a
skiing,
last-minute call to stay and go ski. So
Gracie and I are not skiers. I went on a week-long ski trip with my friends, and I did not ski a single time because I don't know how. And I just played Settlers of Catan the whole time.
And it did not go well. I literally had the thought like halfway down the hill, and this is not an intense hill. I was like, can I just roll down? Like, is there a possibility that I could just like pop these skis off and just like stop, drop, and roll?
But it is. I've done it before.
Really?
Yeah, I do ski, but I don't like the black diamonds, nothing like that. My friends, being from Colorado, they like to drag me on those, and I have popped off the skis a few times.
And then what do? You roll?
Sit down. You don't even have to roll. Like, it's usually
that sounds fun to me.
That sounds fun. Yeah, I would do that. Yeah. Well, one of the guys in our band, our trumpet player Mark, was a professional ski instructor in Breckenridge, during right before he joined the band full time.
Yeah. So we took him away from his professional.
Well, maybe he can get you guys back on the slopes.
Yeah.
But if you are going to be in Fort Collins after the show, I have to tell you one more thing. We have a thing here called cream cheese pizza.
Whoa.
I know, it sounds weird. I thought it was crazy when I moved here, but it's just like dollops of cream cheese on your pizza.
Is there tomato sauce on it too?
You can do any kind of sauce. Yeah, like tomato cheese and then the cream cheese on top.
And it's just normal, like whipped cream cheese, like the normal kind of cream cheese you put on a bagel.
Yeah, like you would put on a bagel.
Wow.
Yeah, and it sounds
I'll definitely check it out.
Gross, but any pizza place here will almost do it because it's so popular. So you got to try the
wow,
cream
that's
cheese
great
pizza.
to know. I appreciate that.
I'm so not opposed to that. That sounds good to me.
We always like to get like the inside tips about what you got to do in that city because it's like food-wise especially. It's almost always food.
Yeah.
But like, touring can get, each new day it's a new city, so it's fun to like have something to really like connect to the personality of the city to do while you're there.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. I promise you'll love it. And we are so excited to have you here in Colorado for your show at the Aggie. We can't wait. Thank you guys so much for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
Much.